Everybody. I am just doing a little test of camera gear. I'm currently using my new GoPro 7 Silver, I think is what it's called. And then just like this little reading lamp thing. I've got the lights off in the room because when I have them on, it casts a shadow on my paper. But as you can see, it's very dark like around my paper. So I'm gonna have to figure out a different lighting source, I think. So I just wanted to do a quick video of just an easy drawing or painting for even little ones, or if you just want to take a 5 to 10 minute break during your day just to color on some paper. This is just a great, like, easy technique for watercolors. So I'm going to start with a big brush. This is a size 20 and it's a flat brush. I'm going to wet it pretty well. And I guess I should tell you what sort of paper I'm using. This is just scrap paper. It's a really cheap watercolor paper that I got a long time ago, and now I just use it whenever I don't want to do something that, I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to paint and then probably discard it. It's the watercolor paper from Hobby Lobby. It's the Master Touch. I'm pretty sure that's their brand that they have partnered with. And as you can see, it's very cheap for a very large pad, 12 inches by 12 inches, and it comes with 12 sheets. So very cheap. I don't recommend it for anything, again, that you're going to sell or some artwork that you particularly care about or want to turn out well. The reason I say that is just because the paper pills very easily when it's wet, and it just doesn't absorb the ink as much as you would want. Anyway, so I'm going to wet my brush completely and wet the paper just with plain water. And then you can either stick with that big brush. I am not going to stick with it. I'm going to go to a smaller round brush, 10 size. It's Faux Squirrel by Zen Art. I really love this company. These were my kind of first watercolor brushes that I got, and they've done really well. They're the primary brush that I use. So I'm just going to mix up some colors. Since my paper is wet, the color, when it touches it, it's hopefully going to just spread around. So lots of water, lots of pigment, just spreading around. And again, this is just a good little exercise for little ones, or again, if you are just wanting to take a break during the day and put some color on some paper. And you can even do this background and then let it dry and maybe, write something on top of it with ink. Make a little card, send it to someone, just say you're thinking about them. People like that. I don't love that blue. I think it's dirty looking. Let's see if I can get more up here. I'm using the Art Philosophy colors, the Tropicals. These are the color options I have. So they're a little bit more earthy, I would say, than some other. Ooh, that's very orange. Anyway. Again, I'm just doing this not necessarily to make it pretty, just to test out my camera and my lighting and see. I'm going to put it up on YouTube and just see kind of where I'm at and what supplies I need. I'm just starting out filming, so this is all a learning process for me, and I hope you get something out of it as well. So as you can see, the colors have kind of blended together. You can even pick up the piece of paper, and I'm just lightly dabbing the paper. I'm not like rubbing crazy because again, this paper pills a lot. So, and then you can pick it up since the paper's wet and the paint is wet. You can just let them flow together. I don't know, something fun, little tie-dye piece of paper. I have a little white spot, but I think I kind of like it. I'm going to try to get a little bit of paint in that white spot, but maybe not too much. You don't want to do this too much. If you go back and forth too much, your colors will blend. And what happens when all the colors of the rainbow blend together? It turns brown. So don't do it too much. Moderation is key. I'm going to fill that white spot in. You can also go back and add where you want like deeper, darker colors. And let's see, let's get a different green in here, I think. I'm gonna wash off my brush. I think that's green. Maybe it's blue. Huh? We will see. Oh, it's green. Ooh, that's cool. I'm gonna just do light ones of this, I think, because it's... So over here it's kind of turning brown, so let's try to change that. Again, I'm just really lightly touching the paper with a full brush of paint. I think it's actually blue. I think it's this, what am I using here? I think it's this ocean blue that I'm using. It's pretty. I also like that really bright green that they have. It's called the Parrot. That one's pretty too. I think mixed with that ocean blue, it's really gorgeous. And then I think I'm gonna throw some orange in here. Ooh. Green and orange are opposite, so try not to mix them as much because what do you get when you mix opposite colors? You get brown again. Unless you're going for brown, then mix them. So just a simple little painting. I think I'm almost done. I will pause and let it dry. And then I'll maybe come back and, I don't know, write a little fun saying or, I don't know, whatever. Again, so 5-10 minutes, whatever that was. Just an easy painting, really great exercise to do with kids. You could even have, so I have this dirty right now, but these might be, depending on the age of your children, these might be a little bit more difficult for them to use just because you kind of have to, if you want your palettes to remain somewhat clean, you have to rinse your brush every time before dipping back into the pigments, and these are very concentrated, so you really only need a little bit, which for a child sometimes that can be hard to gauge. So what I would recommend is getting something similar to this where you can kind of pre-mix the paints for them. So I bought these little things, these little eyedroppers at Hobby Lobby. They're found in the painting section where you can just drop the water in there and then you can mix the paint. So I'll show you, just mix the paint in there. So you could pre-mix the colors for them that they can just dip into. That way, you know, if you did buy expensive watercolor paints, you're not muddying these palettes, and two, you're not wasting the pigment. So anyway, that's a few options. All right, I will let everyone go, and I look forward to having everybody on my watercolor filming lighting journey.